Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you see what you see and what we see? A disclaimer that we don't know how to use.
So we were supposed to have that disclaimer on the screen while playing a song, but the sound not working out. So we got the disclaimer figured out, so we're one step closer to being a real podcast.
Yep, we got that part figured out, but you know what we don't know how to do? Play music!
We can play it. It just sounds like
garbage.
Yeah, bad.
Which is French for garbage.
Yep. So just so everybody knows, you're watching Sips, Riffs, and Flix with your host. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Brandon.
He's drinking that nasty coffee. I don't know what episode this is, but we're doing a Riffs session. And we're going to talk about one of our favorite bands. And, oh, yeah, that is such a classic shirt, too, by the way.
You know, this shirt is 20, because the Rage and Wu-Tang concert was 1998, right?
7.
Was it 97?
97, yeah.
Okay, so this shirt is at least 22 years old.
And it's held up just as good as the music has.
That's exactly right.
So, yeah, we were going to be playing Bulls on Parade as this show came on with the disclaimer. So, viewers out there, if you want to start over, put the disclaimer up and you play the song yourself because we can't do it.
Right. But we got the disclaimer part figured out.
Yep.
You know why? Because we still don't know what we're doing, folks. So, if you know how that we can play music where it doesn't sound like a bunch of just treble crap, let us know.
Yeah.
Because we're always open to improving the show.
Yeah. Yeah, somehow we'll figure it out.
So, Kevin.
Yep.
Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
What is your favorite song by Rage of all time?
Freedom.
Freedom.
Oh, yeah, Freedom. That's my all-time favorite, but Down Rodeo is a very close second.
Ooh, you know, I think that's a song that most people wouldn't pick. But it is, all their songs are great.
Yeah.
My favorite, why is Freedom your favorite?
Because when I don't know when that album came out. Probably 93. Was it that long ago?
I think so.
You look that up. So my cousin Jeffrey, he was always kind of the person that shared music with me. He, gave me the first 311 album that became my favorite band. G Love, he gave me that album. But he gave me the Rage album, the original Rage album with the monk that was on fire on the cover. And just the album itself blew me away, right? So I get to the last song, which is Freedom on that album, and I'm to the point where I'm just like, I don't know how much more I can take. And Freedom, absolutely, like, I'm getting cold now just thinking about it. I just remember the first time I heard it, it just gave me just cold chills, and it still does today. And it's that feeling. I can't tell you why it's my favorite other than it's just a feeling.
1992.
Wow. I was 12 years old.
The first song I was introduced to by Rage Against the Machine was Bullet in the Head. So, right around with Robbie Stegall in the old Oldsmobile Pontiac. But by the way, those speakers in those cars back then, I don't know what they had, but boy, rattled the trunk with them. But blaring that, it was just there was something new about it. I've never heard of a guitar, obviously, be played like that before by the great Tom Morello.
Yeah. And
the rap and lyrics was something new that I have not heard, truly combining kind of your rap and rock and roll together. And they were just, it was a great band at a good time. And even today, if Rage Against the Machine came along, it's interesting that you can plug them in 30 years later and it still fits because they could be playing today. I mean, they're obviously a very political band.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about them is regardless of what side of the political spectrum you sit on, you like Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
Regardless of, you might not believe in some of their political ideology or whatnot, but the music is great. Do you pronounce that Della Rocca or Della Roca?
So I've always said Della Rocca just because it makes it sound more musical, but I think he actually says that Della Roca or Rocha.
Rocha?
Maybe. Yeah, he don't interview a lot, so I don't know that I've ever heard him say his own name. Hey, everybody, I'm Zach Della Roca.
So if Zach wants to come on the show and we'll introduce ourselves, and then you introduce yourself, then we'll have the answer. So
what is your favorite Rage song?
My favorite Rage song, I mean, it's Bulls on Parade, I guess. It's just something about it kicks the door in and just is balls to the walls from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't get you pumped up and ready to go do whatever, I don't know what will. But there's a lot of great songs. I mean, Fistful of Steel is great. Killing in the Name of is fantastic.
That's a very close favorite.
I mean,
well, let's do this. What's your least favorite Rage Against the Machine song?
Okay.
It might be easier to name the ones we don't love, but I would say my least favorite is probably I don't even know. I'll have to think about it.
I'm gonna go look.
Pull us up a list, yeah. So Brandon and I were talking about this at one point, and this is what I said about Rage, and I think this is very true. If you could find somebody, let's just say a teenager right now, that has never heard Rage Against the Machine, like have no clue who they are, I think if you played it right now, they would never know that it's a band that we listened to when we were 12 years old. I think it still sounds so fresh and new. I think it would blow their minds just like it blew my mind when I was younger. And I was going to end this talk about, you talk about being on two political sides and it doesn't matter. The thing about Rage is, for me, they didn't necessarily pick parties or anything like that. Usually they stood for something that they felt was wrong, and typically it was the way that somebody was being treated.
Right.
So that for me is a big deal. It's not about who's on this side, who's on that side. It's about who's being treated fairly or unfairly, and let's stand up for the people that are being treated unfairly.
So I think that the song that I like the least about them is not even by them. It's off their Renegades of Funk album called Beautiful World. It's just a little too
beautiful world
that we live in. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but I'm going through and like, well, I don't really like that song. But then I hear it in my head. I'm like, oh no, that's
it's pretty good.
That song rocks.
But the thing is, too, that's their covers.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Ghost of Tom Joad is the
phenomenal
best cover. I'm not gonna say it's the best cover of any song I've ever heard, but it's very close to the top.
They did it better than Springsteen himself.
By far.
By far. Sorry, Bruce.
Boss.
Sorry, boss. They outdid the boss.
So go ahead, you talk. I'm gonna pick up my least favorite song.
Which, speaking of the boss, Tom Morello, the guitarist, who actually studied music at Harvard, he had the amazing opportunity to play for Bruce Springsteen on a tour with the E Street Band. Somebody got sick or hurt and couldn't do it. So they don't play all the same songs every night. So he maybe had 6 weeks or less, something like that, to learn over 130 some songs. And he said even the first few shows, he had to fall in line and okay, this is how it goes and figure it out. But can you imagine being such a musical, just gifted genius that you can just, okay, so I can't learn 136 songs in 6 weeks. Fair. But what I can do is I can get up there on stage and know just enough to get by, but then I can fall right into the grooves. Oh, that's how we do the lead, and then just fall right in. I mean, and what he did with the guitar, if you ever watch some of the YouTube videos where people do the reactions or reviews for the first time, which if we could ever figure out how to work music on here, we may do some of that too. But until then, seeing how people hear Rage for the first time and think that there's a DJ scratching on stage.
That's always one of the first comments, like, oh my God, they play heavy metal and somebody raps and they have a DJ.
No, that's what Tom is doing on the guitar. And is there other guitarists that are, I'm sure there are other guitarists who have mastered that like he has because he's influenced.
There's not.
But I can't think of any.
There's not. There's people that can do certain things, but not. He made the guitar a whole different instrument.
That's a whole, I mean, not a lot of people can take a guitar or an instrument, period, and make it perform its primary function, but then.
Yeah. And, and Tim Comerford doesn't get enough credit, the bass player for Rage, because he basically carries Rage songs that, that gives Tom Morello the ability to stop playing the rhythm and go do a scratching noise or whatever, and that bass is always just keeping everybody in line.
He's a hell of a bass player.
He is.
The only thing I don't understand about him is why the half-sleeve black arm tattoos.
I don't know another person in the world that has those either.
I don't either. I feel like it just would
hurt bad.
Yeah, it's a lot of one color.
It is. It's cool though. I think it's cool.
I guess.
So I looked through the list of songs while you were talking, and I
Yeah.
couldn't come up with one that I don't like. So
Well, I couldn't come up with one original song of theirs that I don't like. But if you're a youngster, I don't even know what considered a youngster is anymore. But if you haven't checked out Rage Against the Machine, you need to do so. By the way, the lyrics aren't kid friendly. So
and I'll say this too. Zach De La Rocca, on the list of MCs, when people talk about their top 10 hip hop MCs, you know, blah, blah, blah. If you don't name Zach De La Rocca as a top MC, you don't know what you're talking about.
now, Kevin, there's some people out there in the hip hop world who don't know who that is, and they're going to challenge you on that.
Well, and so if you do challenge me on that, start with a song called CIA, which is Zach De La Rocca with KRS-One, who is always going to be named as a top 10 MC, and it's them two together, and listen to Zach De La Rocca on that song.
So write that down. We'll need to put that in not the comments, but the description, so people can go out there and understand how. Would you call him a rapper or a lyricist? What would he be called?
I call him an MC. He's just
tongue wizard.
Like,
I mean, ladies call him.
And you know, for a long time, he teased people and said that he was going to come out with a hip hop album, a straight up hip hop album, and he never did. And I have always just waited, because I think it would, if he could get with the right producer, the right beat makers, like it could possibly be like the best hip hop album of all time, in my opinion.
So, if Rage, weren't they coming back? Didn't they?
Yeah, so they had a tour planned, and then the COVIDs came along. So,
let me ask you this: what if they sold tickets? What is your top number that you would not spend? Like, I'm not going to spend more than $1,000 a ticket. Would you spend $1,000?
How close would I be?
Just general admission.
$20. No, I would spend for general admission. I'd go 500.
500.
Yeah.
Because it could be one of those things where we haven't seen them since 1997. Ooh, what if Rage and Wu-Tang got back together and did a stadium tour? An outside stadium.
$1,000.
$1,000. You think they could do that?
Do you remember when they played the song Method Man with Method Man? METHOD Man. And Rage was, oh my God, it was so good. It's so good.
This is probably going to shock you, but
Brandon does not
remember. No, there's a lot I don't remember.
So Brandon and I actually, and our friend Bo, we were going to see Rage in Raleigh. Brandon, I think you admitted you don't even remember that conversation. So they had.
When were we going?
I think it was in August.
So this wasn't when we were kids.
No, this is like 3 months ago. Yeah, we were supposed to go. It was going to be in Raleigh. Bo had his tickets. No, yeah, we were supposed to go.
Wow, clearly I was looking forward to it.
We were supposed to be getting a hotel, all that stuff. Then the COVIDs came on. I like to call it the COVIDs.
The COVIDs.
So yes, I would go 500 for general admission.
Wow. I don't know.
Because that's Rage's 311's my favorite band, but Rage Against the Machine is a very, very, very close second.
Yeah, I mean, you can listen to I have to take breaks from Rage though because I get so pumped up and amped up.
Yeah.
Or if let's say I'm going to drive in the car, I'm like, ooh, let's listen to Rage. I'm like, no, I cannot let Rage take me to the headspace of where that goes. And it's not anger, but it's just a heightened more level. Like if I'm going to sit down, like write a term paper, probably not going to listen to Rage Against the Machine. If I'm going to do some yard work or go to the gym or, do something physical, saw down a tree, might listen to Rage.
So I just, about a month ago, I was mowing and working outside and I listened to Rage Against the Machine almost all day and just let it go, start to finish, album to album, song to song. And I can't tell you like how happy I was all day. Just like a song would go off and I'd be like, God, what a good song. And then the next one come on, I'll be like, oh my God.
I forgot about this one.
Yeah, it's so good.
Like what, it's such an endorphin release.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're a drug.
For real, kids, just go on iTunes, type in Rage Against the Machine. Their first album is called Rage Against the Machine. It's a great cover. There's a guy on fire. Download it.
Don't put yourself on fire, though.
Don't put yourself on fire. Download it and just hit play and just listen.
And if you're sitting in front of your computer, just YouTube and look at how they play and on stage. And what's crazy is when you see the sea of fans, like just far as the eye can see it. I think it was a concert overseas somewhere.
It was. Oh, and there's like, I don't even know how many. Like
thousands.
I'm gonna say like 500,000 people.
And they're just like all moving.
And they're just
yeah. I would love just for one time to be on stage, just to see that and feel what that feels like.
You know, obviously there's performers that have been in that type of setting, but that one that you're talking about, it reminds me of almost like a modern day, like when Queen did the Farm Aid. Mm-hmm. You know, it's that classic. That's what it looked like. Like you had Rage Against the Machine in front of like 500,000 people, and every person is just like in awe, and it's like they're just in the palm of their hands, you know. And I mean, when Tom Morello does certain licks on guitar, I mean, you can just see people like just, oh my god, and people were just beating each other up, and I mean, it's just a good time.
That was a great mosh pit. They were setting the field, the lawn on fire at Blockbuster Pavilion, I think it was called back then.
Wow,
what a great time!
It was, and we lived to talk about it.
All right, so before we jump off here, Kevin, what is your favorite Rage album of all time? You only got like 3 to choose from, which is a shame.
So the first album, I would say the first album just because that's what introduced me to them. Mm-hmm. But overall, just for me, like lyrically and just the music, Evil Empire is probably my favorite.
Yeah, I would agree. I love the original Rage, but Evil Empire is like my favorite.
It's like when their first album was all about just gritty lyrical power. Yeah. Evil Empire to me is kind of when they found their groove.
Yeah.
And it appealed to more people, I think.
I would agree with that.
And I love that cover for just that boy with the evil. I mean, it's so cool.
Who is it? What is this kid?
I don't know.
Is it like a superhero?
And you know, to be honest with you, there's probably a story behind that album cover. So if any of you know the story behind that album cover, please comment. Let us know. I won't Google it for a whole day. So if y'all want to share with us.
I was going to read some of the description of how somebody here on iTunes, or how iTunes described this album, but they're using words I can't pronounce. So let's just not get into that. Okay, so listen, guys, like, subscribe, comment, tell us what your favorite Rage Against the Machine song is, and what your favorite album is. And if you have a song that Rage just hate, you can put it on there too.
Yeah.
Right?
And everybody go listen to The Ghost of Tom Joad too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That whole Renegades of Funk album is great.
Dude, that Renegades of Funk makes me want to break dance. I mean, I love that song. Who
is it? They're channeling somebody in that beat that they're using, and I don't know who it is. It comes from some. Anyway, you guys check it out. You do enjoy, have fun.
Yeah.
And
maybe on another Riffs, maybe we'll talk about another band that came along after Rage. Would have been our high school days that we have discussed recently that we might do a little Riffs on.
I think I know who it is.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. And if you have, I don't know. I want people to comment.
Like, leave some comments.
If there's a show you want us to talk about, a band you want us to talk about, like if you say that like Rage is our favorite band, but they don't hold a candle to so-and-so, send us who that is, who you think that is. So Charlie Copeland, send us who your favorite band is and tell us why.
That's right. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. And like, subscribe, tell your mama, tell your friends, tell everybody. See ya.
See ya.